what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. So today I want to do a video talking about a subject that I think a lot of us probably struggle with, which is judging ourselves and how we kind of perceive ourselves. There's a lot of times what we can do in life is I think that we can be very harsh judges of ourselves, and we wonder why we don't make progress. We wonder why we struggle with things, and why we can't overcome our addictions. We can't overcome the things that are blocking us. We keep on consistently failing in the same ways, and we don't grow. We don't change as a person. And this is one of the things that I've been very focused on in my life. I've gone through periods of time in my life where I have grown tremendously, and I've gone through stagnation periods where I have not grown, where I would look back on a period of my life of 5 years or so and say, what happened? Nothing, almost nothing happened during that 5 years, except that time passed by. In fact, I did a video showing how my life changed in 7 years, which is incredible. You can check out here, at least to me, those changes. In the last year, probably more growth and changes happened than ever before. I was just looking at my Facebook, and it showed me that 1 year ago today, at the time I'm recording this, I was at Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny event. You can check out the video I did there talking about that. And if you look at just what's happened in that time span of my life, of how I've changed physically, emotionally, so many different ways I can't even describe to you. It's drastic, right, in that period of time. So there's a few things I have to say about this that I've discovered that as I've been going through this process and trying to figure out, my goal in life is really to be able to grow, to be able to change, to be able to do that as rapidly as possible, and to teach you how to do that. That's part of the reason, one of the main reasons why I have this channel. There is something I want to talk about, or want to point you to videos again. When I give you these videos, by the way, you can check them out afterwards. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I'm giving you a lot of reference points so that you can go other places if you want to explore those things. So one of them I talked about is breaking addictions, right? How to break addictions, which you can check out here. And if you want specific advice on a specific addiction that some of you guys have some trouble with, I did one on porn and masturbation. Yeah, I did. I actually really did. So you can check that out. This is not something that we need to be super embarrassed about. We need to confront and deal with issues in our lives. But today, what I'm going to be talking about today is, again, about judging yourself. And I want to talk about this idea of judging yourself as an adult, which a lot of us do, versus as an infant. Because here's the thing, right? In order to grow, in order to change, in order to reach that next level that you want, you need to accept where you are now. Because what's really important is switching between, a lot of us, when we try to change, when we try to grow, we try to advance ourselves, overcome addictions, whatever it is, overcome the limitations that we have in our lives. And we want to become this better person. We want to become this more fit person. We want to become whatever we want to become. We try to force it by force of will. We try to do instead of become. And we have to focus on becoming. We can't focus on doing. If you're focusing on doing, I think I've talked about this example before, it's like a rubber band that you're pulling, right? You're pulling away from who you are right now, and eventually it's going to snap back. And when it snaps back, when there's too much tension on it, it snaps back the other direction, right? That's how a rubber band works. And that's how your life works when you're trying to accomplish something by sheer force of will. And you probably have heard this in a lot of religious contexts, right? I think that I'm not going to go into religious context here, but you've probably heard of similar things. And when you try to do things in your own power, right? And what does that exactly mean? But I'm going to apply this a little bit differently. And what I'm going to say is there's a bigger principle at work here, which is that you cannot do this. You cannot, if you want to change behavior, if you want to change something about yourself, you cannot do it by force of will and stretch that rubber band, because eventually it's going to snap, or it's going to come back and hit you in the face. Instead, what you got to do is you got to change you got to become. You got to move forward. You got to change who you be. You got to become what you want. You got to set a new standard, set a higher standard, set a new bar. Become the person, not do, but become. And there's a clear difference here. And part of that, again, going back to what I want to talk about today, is how you judge yourself. Because a lot of us, what we do is we tend to judge ourselves, our immaturity, as an adult, right? So we have to stop doing that, because in order to be able to grow, in order to be able to change who you are, you have to accept who you are. Change doesn't happen without acceptance first. So it's, we can look at the quote bad things that we're doing in our lives, and we can say that they're bad, right? But it's the wrong way to look at things, because when you look at things like that, you're judging yourself. You're judging a part of yourself as you would judge an adult, but really that part of yourself is an infant. If you're struggling with some kind of addiction, if you're struggling with anger management, if you're struggling with being lazy or procrastination or whatever it is, or you don't have the determination, you don't have the willpower, you don't have the motivation to do what you need to do, it's because that part of you right now is an infant. It's an infant in the level of maturity. And we wouldn't judge an infant the same way we would judge an adult, right? We wouldn't say to the infant, oh, I can't believe that you can't speak or you can't do these things. We have a little bit of mercy, a little bit of grace on the infant, knowing that infant is going to reach a maturity, but it hasn't yet. We don't expect it to be mature at this point. We have acceptance for that infant at that point. And so you need to have acceptance for yourself currently wherever you're at in the stages that you're at. It doesn't give you an excuse. It doesn't say, hey, I'm accepting it and I'm never going to grow or change. It just says that it's okay, right? It's okay to be immature in an area right now, but to develop that maturity later. It's okay to be a seed, right? And then eventually grow into a tree. You can't judge a seed by the same standards that you would judge a tree. The seed needs time to germinate, to grow, to become a massive oak tree, right? That yields acorns or has these broad leaves, right? A seed doesn't have those attributes, and when you judge a seed by those attributes, you're just condemning the seed. And we do this to ourselves, right? We do this to other people, but we definitely do this to ourselves. And so, if you want to grow, if you want to change, if you want to become that tree, recognize the areas of your life where you're a seed right now and accept that. And don't try to make justifications. Don't judge it as bad. Again, it's the difference between judging as an adult as an infant. Just judge it as an infant. Judge it as this is an immature area, but it's not bad. It's not wrong. It's just that the growth hasn't happened in that area yet. And once you accept that, then you can set a new standard. Then you can set the model of who you want to become. And then what you can do is you can stop trying. You can stop trying to make the seed act like a tree. Instead, you can start treating the seed like the seed it is. You can water it, you can nurture it, you can grow it into the tree, and the behaviors and the actions will eventually follow. It's just that you have to do it in that order. You can't force those things that you would expect from a tree or from a full-grown adult from an infant. It doesn't work that way. And the more that you do that, and the harsher you judge yourself by those standards, the more you prevent the growth, because you're doing the impossible. You're stretching that rubber band, and it's going to snap and smack you in the face. And so you have to change who you become. And the way that you do that is you stop judging. You stop judging yourself, and you come to a point of acceptance, and you say, it's okay right now that I am at this stage. It's okay right now that I am a drug addict. I'm addicted to porn or whatever, or I don't have self-control, or I have an anger problem, or whatever it is. It's okay right now. It's not where I'm going to go. It's not who I am. And then you change who you are. You have a vision of the standard you want to become, of the person you want to become, and you start stepping into that role. You start acting as if, and then you will eventually become that role instead of forcing it. But it all starts with accepting where you are now. Because if you don't accept where you are now, you can't have gratitude. I'll tell you that. Because you can't be gracious for where you are, and without gratitude, there's no grace, and without grace, there's no real change. for you or for anyone else. So think about that. Think about some of the things that maybe you're beating yourself up about. Think about how you may be judging yourself, an infantile part of yourself as an adult. And think about accepting that, accepting where you are right now, loving where you are right now, having some gratitude for where you are right now in those areas, and then setting a vision of who you want to become. And then change your environment, change the things that are around you, put yourself in the environment that will change your beliefs and change you as a person to become what you want. And then those actions will follow. They'll become easy. It won't be stretching the rubber band because you'll be moving the entire rubber band forward. And when you do that, that's when the effortless change occurs. There's a lot of things in my life that I've struggled with, a large portion of my life, that are effortless now, and they're effortless because it is me. I'm not forcing it. It's not hard. It's not like things aren't difficult, that I don't have to work hard and do things that I don't want to do. But my default behavior, my default actions, they flow from who you are, and they always will. And the more that you fight that, the less progress that you'll make. So your goal needs to be not to change the actions. That's the result. That's the effect, right? Changing the effect, treating the symptom, it can make the symptom go away for a while. Like I said, with the stretching that rubber band, you got to get to the root cause, and the root cause is, who are you? So change who you are. Have a better belief, have a better standard, change your environment, and do that. Stop judging yourself, and then you're going to get to that point. I hope you liked this video. If you want to get the kind of material that will change who you are, I do have a request for you. Click that subscribe button below if you haven't subscribed already. And that's what I'm doing. That's what this channel is about. This channel is about setting that new standard. It's about changing your beliefs so that you can become who you want to become. And we'll do that together as we grow. All right, I hope you liked this video. I'll talk to you next time.